"Are you holding up, Maya?" a neighbor asked softly, her hand brushing my arm. I nodded, though my throat burned. "I'm fine." I lied. My voice cracked, betraying me. She gave me that pitying look, the kind that felt like a knife, and stepped aside so others could offer the same hollow comfort. Such a tragedy, someone whispered behind me. "So young. She was always fragile," another said. "Fragile." I bit down hard on my lip. Fragile wasn't the word. Lena wasn't fragile, she was bright, loving, alive. Until someone dimmed her light. "Do you want to sit?" Jade leaned close, her dark eyes steady on mine. She'd been my best friend since high school, the only one who dared to stay near me now. "I can stand," I muttered. "If I sit, I'll fall apart." She nodded. "Then stand. But don't break alone." I squeezed the diary tighter in my hands. The leather was worn, the corners frayed. Lena's handwriting was inside, her voice trapped between the pages. It was all I had left. When the service ended, people drifted away. Some hugged me quickly. Most avoided my eyes. My mother stood at the far end, stiff, silent, as if grief embarrassed her. She hadn't shed a tear. "Are you coming home?" Jade asked. I shook my head. "Not yet. I need to read this." I lifted the diary slightly. She touched my shoulder. "Don't do it alone." "I have to," I whispered. That night, my room felt colder than ever. I sat cross-legged on the bed, diary trembling in my hands. The house was quiet, but my chest was loud with grief. I opened the first page. March 2nd. "Adrian makes me feel like the luckiest girl alive, but sometimes I think his eyes are colder than his smile. I don't know if I can tell Maya yet. She'd worry. She always worries. Adrian." My stomach tightened. I flipped another page. April 10th. "He said I embarrassed him tonight. He told me never to speak like that in public again." I laughed. But he didn't. His hand on my arm was so tight it left a mark. Maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe I deserved it. "No," I breathed, clutching the page. "You didn't deserve that." I kept reading, my eyes burning. May 25th. "I told him I wanted space. He said I was nothing without him. He said no one else would want me. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm weak." I slammed the diary shut. My pulse thundered in my ears. Weak? She was never weak. Someone broke her. Someone crushed her until she couldn't breathe. The name seared through me like fire. Adrian Cole. Adrian. I whispered into the darkness, the word trembling out of me. "You did this." The door creaked open. Jade peeked in, her face pale. "I couldn't sleep. I thought maybe you couldn't either." I held up the diary with shaking hands. It was him, Jade. Adrian. He destroyed her. Her lips parted. "Are you sure?" "She wrote everything." My voice cracked. "He controlled her, shamed her, told her she was nothing. And now she's..." My throat closed. Jade crossed the room and sat beside me, gripping my hand. "Then you can't let him keep walking free." "I don't know how," I whispered. "Start by not blaming yourself," she said firmly. "He broke her, not you." Tears slid hot down my cheeks. "But I should have seen it. I should have saved her." "You couldn't have known," Jade insisted. "But now you do. So what will you do with that?" I looked down at Lena's diary, the weight of her words pressing into me like stone. "I'll make him pay," I whispered, my voice raw but steady. The silence that followed wasn't empty, it was a promise. "I still remember the first time I saw him," I murmured, staring at Lena's diary sprawled across my lap. Jade leaned against my desk. "Who?" "Adrian," I said quietly. "It was at Lena's graduation. Do you remember?" Her brow furrowed. "I think so." Tall, perfect smile. The one shaking hands with everyone like he owned the place? "Yes." I shut my eyes, the memory replaying. Everyone adored him. Professors, parents, even my mother. He stood there like the sun itself. And Lena, God, she glowed just being near him. Jade tilted her head. "And you hated him even then?" I opened the diary to a marked page. "Not at first. But later, when I read this," I pointed at Lena's words. "He says other men look at me too much. He told me to change my dress. He said he knows what's best." Jade cursed under her breath. Classic control. I nodded, my fingers trembling. "That night at graduation, he introduced himself." "Maya, right?" he said, smiling like he already knew everything about me. And I smiled back, like an idiot. "What did he say to you?" "He told me Lena was lucky to have him, not the other way around." I clenched the diary. I laughed at the time. I thought he was being cocky, but now I know he meant it. Jade's jaw tightened. You can't blame yourself for not seeing it. But I should have, I snapped, my throat burning. The way he placed his hand on her back that night, guiding her every step, it wasn't love, it was ownership. And I stood there smiling, thinking she was happy. Jade sat beside me. You couldn't have known. I swallowed hard, turning another page. Lena's handwriting looked smaller, weaker. He says my friends are jealous of me. He doesn't like when I spend time with them. He wants me only with him. She was disappearing right in front of me. I whispered. Jade touched my hand. Maya, you're torturing yourself. Am I? Or am I finally opening my eyes? I pushed the diary toward her. Read this. Look at what he did. She glanced at the page and shook her head. I don't need to read it. I believe you. But what are you going to do with this anger? Because if you let it rot inside, it'll eat you alive. I met her eyes, my chest heaving. I want to make him suffer. That's dangerous, she warned. I don't care, she sighed. Then, at least be smart about it. Don't just throw yourself at him blind. I stared at Lena's photo on the nightstand. Her smiling face mocked the broken words in her diary. He took her voice. He made her believe she was worthless. He's not going to walk away free. Jade leaned back. So what's your plan? I don't have one yet, I admitted. But I'll find a way. Every word in this diary is a weapon, and I'll use it. She studied me for a long moment. This isn't you, Maya. You've never been someone who talks about revenge. I wasn't, I said softly. But I wasn't someone who buried her sister either. Silence stretched between us. Finally, Jade stood. If you're serious about this, you'll need allies and patience. Don't let your anger make you reckless. I didn't answer. Instead, I picked up Lena's photo frame, my thumb brushing her face. I'll make him pay, I whispered to her image, my voice trembling but steady. I swear it, Lena. I'll make him pay. Resume? The receptionist asked, her tone flat. I slid the forged papers across the desk, my fake name bold at the top. Maya Lane, I said, my stomach twisting. She typed something into her computer. Mr. Cole will see you now. My heart hammered. I followed her into the sleek office, the walls gleaming with wealth, and there he was, Adrian Cole, Miss Lane. His smile was smooth, practiced. Please sit. I sat, gripping my bag tightly. Thank you. He leaned back, studying me. You came highly recommended. What made you apply here? I admire the company's reputation. I lied, forcing a steady tone. I want to grow where excellence is expected. He chuckled. Ambition. I like that. And where did you say you studied? Northbridge, I answered quickly. His gaze lingered on me, sharp and unsettling. You remind me of someone. Have we met? My pulse spiked. No, I said firmly. I'm sure we haven't. He smirked. I meet a lot of faces. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Every muscle in me wanted to scream. You killed my sister. But I smiled instead. I'm confident I can be an asset here, I said evenly. He tapped a pen against his desk. We'll see. Report to Human Resources. Welcome aboard. Thank you, Mr. Cole. I stood, my legs shaky, but I didn't let him see it. Out in the hall, I exhaled sharply, pressing my palm against the cool wall. First day? A gentle voice asked. I turned. A woman about my age with warm brown eyes smiled at me. Don't worry. It's not as scary as it looks. I'm Nina. Maya, I said, using the false name. Nice to meet you. She laughed softly. You'll need friends here. Adrian runs this place like a king, and we're just the subjects. Doesn't sound pleasant, I said carefully. Depends on which side of him you see, Nina replied. But don't let the charm fool you. He can be intense. I forced a nod. Noted. She leaned closer, whispering, if you keep your head down, you'll survive. Just don't try to outshine him. Her words made my chest tighten. That's exactly what Lena once wrote. What department are you in? I asked, trying to distract myself. Finance. Numbers don't lie, but people here do, she said with a small shrug. Come on, I'll show you around. We walked through the open plan office, rows of desks buzzing with tension. People typed quickly, avoided eye contact, moved like shadows. This place feels, I searched for the word, cold, Nina supplied. You get used to it, or you leave. Why don't you leave? She smiled faintly. Some of us don't have the luxury. I looked at her, seeing quiet strength in her eyes. She reminded me of Lena, kind, but trapped. Later, at my new desk, she lingered. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. Trust me, it helps. Thank you, I said softly. I appreciate that. When she left, I sat frozen, my mind spinning. Adrian hadn't recognized me. He saw only the name on the paper, not the sister of the woman he destroyed. I opened my drawer, sliding Lena's diary inside, hidden but close. My hands trembled as I whispered, "One step at a time, Lena. I'm in." "Morning, Maya," Nina greeted, sliding a coffee onto my desk. "You didn't have to trust me. You'll need it." She leaned in. "He's already in one of his moods." My chest tightened. "Adrian? Who else?" She glanced toward his glass office where he stood, shaking hands with a client, that same charming grin plastered on his face. I forced a steady voice. "He looks perfectly calm. That's the trick. He smiles while he cuts you apart." I kept my eyes on him. He clapped the client's shoulder warmly, then turned sharply and barked, "James, that report was garbage. Do it again or don't bother coming back." James stammered, "Yes, sir." The client laughed nervously. Adrian's smile never wavered. I whispered, "He humiliates his own team in front of outsiders?" "All the time," Nina said quietly. "He thinks fear breeds loyalty." The door opened, and Owen Blake, his business partner, entered. His stride was confident, his gaze sharp. He caught me watching and raised an eyebrow. "New hire?" he asked. "Yes, sir," I said quickly. "Don't call me sir," Owen muttered, though his eyes lingered on me longer than necessary. "What's your name again?" "Maya Lane." He nodded slowly, still studying me. "I'll remember that." Then he stepped into Adrian's office without knocking. I leaned toward Nina. "He seems smarter than the rest," she said. "But don't trust him either." Through the glass, I saw Owen and Adrian arguing, hands cutting through the air, smiles gone. I couldn't hear their words, but I saw Owen slam a file onto the desk. Adrian's jaw tightened, then smile again. Handshake again, masks sliding on and off. That afternoon, whispers floated between desks, another deal off the books, shell companies in 3 countries, tax evasion. Everyone knows, but no one dares speak. I kept my head down, but every word seared into me. Later, Adrian approached my desk. "Maya, isn't it?" "Yes, Mr. Cole." He smiled warmly. "How are you adjusting?" "Fine, thank you." My voice didn't shake. "You strike me as sharp." His eyes narrowed slightly. "Where did you say you studied again?" "Northbridge," I replied, just as before. "Of course." His smile lingered too long. "I like ambition, but ambition must be loyal. Remember that." I forced a nod. "Always." He patted my shoulder and walked away, leaving ice crawling down my spine. Nina rushed over. "What did he say?" "Nothing. Just testing me." "That's what he does," she warned. "Don't let him see weakness." When the day ended, I practically ran home. My hands shook as I dug through my purse, looking for my phone, but instead my fingers brushed paper. Another folded sheet. My breath caught. Lena's handwriting. June 14th. He shouted at me in front of everyone, said I embarrassed him by laughing too loudly. People stared while he dragged me out. I wanted to vanish. I've never felt so small. My tears blurred the ink. Afterward, he smiled at me like nothing happened. He said it was love, that he was protecting me, but all I felt was shame. Maybe I am nothing, just like he says. I slammed the paper onto my desk. "No, Lena," I whispered through gritted teeth. "You weren't nothing. He made you believe that." Jade's voice came from the doorway. "What's wrong?" I turned, my hands trembling. I found another page. He humiliated her, Jade, publicly, and then he twisted it into love. Her face hardened. That's his pattern. Build you up, tear you down, make you dependent. I clenched the diary page. He's still doing it. I saw him today smiling at clients while crushing his staff. They're scared of him, Jade, just like Lena was. So now you know what you're up against. Yes. My voice was cold, steady. A man who hides poison behind a smile. Jade stepped closer. "And what will you do?" I looked down at Lena's words, at the pain she never escaped. "I'll strip that smile off his face, one way or another." "Rough day?" Nina asked, sliding into the chair beside mine after most of the office had emptied. I forced a smile. "When isn't it?" She chuckled softly, then her expression dimmed. "You'll get used to it. Or maybe you won't. Maybe that's a good thing." I glanced at her. "You sound like you've been here too long." 3 years. She leaned back, staring at the ceiling. 3 years of walking on eggshells, praying not to be noticed. Sometimes I wonder why I stay. Why do you? I asked carefully. She gave a tired smile. Family bills, sick mom. I can't afford to leave, so I keep my head down and hope Adrian doesn't notice me. Her tone shifted, softer now. But he notices everyone eventually. My chest tightened. He noticed you? Yes. She exhaled sharply. I once saw him lose it in the lobby. Screamed at a girl for 10 minutes straight. Said she made him look stupid. She stood there crying while people stared. My blood froze. Do you remember her name? Lena, she whispered. Pretty quiet. She didn't last long after that. I still think about her. I bit the inside of my cheek hard, fighting the tears that burned behind my eyes. That's awful. She looked broken, Nina said, softly. I wanted to go to her, but I didn't. I was scared he'd turn on me next. And then she was gone. I forced my voice steady. Do you know what happened to her? Nina shook her head. No rumors. But no one really says. Why? My hands clenched under the desk. I had a friend once. He destroyed her, piece by piece. She trusted him, and he made her believe she was nothing. Her eyes widened. Are you saying I can't give details? I cut in quickly, but I watched her fade. And then she was gone too. So when I see him smile like he's some kind of savior, my throat closed. I want to scream. Nina reached across the desk and gently took my hand. Her voice was low, firm. Then don't let him win. The words hit me like a lifeline. I blinked fast. Easier said than done. No, she insisted. You're stronger than you think. I see it. You don't flinch around him like the others. You don't shrink. That's just an act, I whispered. Even if it is, it's working. Keep the act alive. One day it won't just be an act, it'll be real. I swallowed hard, staring at her hand covering mine. It was warm, steady, nothing like the cold that seeped through Adrian's world. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because someone needs to fight back, she said simply. And maybe you're the one who can. Her faith startled me. You don't even know me. Sometimes you don't need years to know someone, Nina said softly. Sometimes you just see them. Silence lingered, heavy but comforting. Finally, I whispered, what if he destroys me too? Then at least you won't go quietly. She squeezed my hand once before letting go. Promise me that. I stared at her, my chest tightening. I promise. When she left, I sat alone at my desk, the shadows stretching long across the floor. My hands still felt the weight of hers, the strength she offered. I opened Lena's diary under the desk, my fingers brushing her words. I whispered, I'm not alone anymore, Lena. I have help. For the first time since the funeral, I felt the faintest flicker of hope. The restaurant buzzed with laughter, but my stomach was tight as stone. I sat across from Owen, Adrian to my left, and Sophie draped elegantly on his arm. Adrian raised his glass. To another successful quarter. Everyone echoed. Cheers. I forced a smile, sipping the bitter wine. When the noise settled, I leaned toward Owen. You must be proud. Though not everyone shares in the rewards, right? He blinked. What do you mean? I shrugged. Just rumors. Whispers that Adrian doesn't always divide profits equally. Adrian's smile froze for a second before returning. People will say anything when they're jealous. Sophie touched his arm. Ignore it, Adrian. You've worked harder than anyone. Of course, I said smoothly. Hard work deserves reward, but loyalty deserves it too. Don't you agree, Mr. Blake? Owen studied me, his jaw tightening. I agree. Loyalty is everything. Adrian chuckled lightly. Maya is new. She doesn't understand how this business works yet. I met his eyes. Maybe not, but I do understand greed when I see it. The table went silent. Sophie's fork clinked against her plate. Adrian's hand twitched, then relaxed. Strong words, he said softly. Careful ambition can make enemies. I lowered my gaze, pretending flustered. Just speaking my mind. Sophie leaned forward, her smile sharp. Where exactly did you say you studied again, Maya? Northbridge, I answered evenly. Her eyes narrowed, but she said nothing more. Owen broke the tension with a laugh that sounded forced. Maya's bold. I like that. Bold isn't always wise, Adrian muttered. The rest of the dinner passed with polite conversation, but Sophie's eyes never left me. They followed every word, every movement, like she was searching for cracks. When dessert came, Adrian stood to take a call. The moment he left, Owen leaned closer. You're not afraid of him, are you? Should I be? I asked quietly. He smirked. Most people are. Fear keeps people silent. Silence keeps him strong. Owen's smile faded. Interesting perspective. Adrian returned, clapping Owen's shoulder. Business never sleeps. Ready to head out? Of course, Owen said, though his eyes lingered on me with something sharper than curiosity. Later that night, back in my apartment, my phone buzzed. Jade, turn on the news. Now. I grabbed the remote. The anchor's voice filled the room. CEO Adrian Cole linked to questionable overseas accounts. Investigators are looking into possible fraud. My chest surged with adrenaline. It's starting, I whispered. Jade called immediately. Did you see it? Yes. They finally said his name. This is big, Maya. This isn't just office gossip, this is real scandal. I paced the room, clutching the phone. His mask is slipping. People will start to doubt him. Then push harder, Jade urged. If the world sees who he really is, he can't hide behind that smile anymore. I sank onto the couch, the flicker of the TV reflecting in the window. Tonight, at dinner, I planted something in Owen's mind. I think he's starting to question Adrian. Good, Jade said firmly. Use it. But Sophie watched me the whole time. She suspects something. Let her, Jade replied. Doubt spreads faster than truth. I closed my eyes. Adrian's laugh from dinner echoed in my mind, too smooth, too rehearsed. For the first time, I'd seen a crack when I pushed him. Just a flicker, but enough. Maya, Jade said softly. This is the beginning. Don't lose your nerve. I won't. My voice was steady now. Lena deserved better. He's going to fall, and I'll be there when he does. The anchor's voice droned on in the background, repeating Adrian's name, repeating fraud, scandal, investigation, and I whispered into the empty room. Your kingdom is crumbling, Adrian. One crack at a time. I sat at my desk long after midnight. Lena's diary spread open, pages scattered like broken pieces of her voice. My fingers brushed the back cover, and something shifted. What's this? I whispered, tugging at the loose lining. A folded sheet slipped free. My breath caught. It was her handwriting. I unfolded it slowly. The words blurred as tears filled my eyes. Dear Maya, I don't know if I'll ever give this to you. Maybe I'm too afraid. Maybe you'll hate me if I do. But if you find this, please stay away from Adrian. He isn't who he pretends to be. He scares me. I can't breathe when he's near, and yet I can't leave. He says he loves me, but love shouldn't feel like a cage. Promise me you won't get close to him. Promise me you'll run before he hurts you too. I choked on a sob. Lena, oh God. Jade's voice startled me from the doorway. What is it? I turned, clutching the paper. She wrote me a letter. She never sent it. Jade stepped closer. What does it say? I read it aloud, my voice trembling. When I finished, silence hung between us like a knife. Jade whispered. She knew. She begged me to stay away. I gasped. And what did I do? I walked straight into his world. You didn't know, Jade said firmly. Don't blame yourself. I should have seen it, I shouted, slamming the letter onto the desk. She was drowning, and I was blind. She tried to warn me even in death, and I ignored it. Jade grabbed my shoulders. Stop. This isn't your fault. He did this, not you. Tears streamed down my face, but I wasn't there to save her. You can't change the past, Jade said, her voice breaking. But you can change what comes next. I shook my head, clutching the letter again. She called him dangerous. She was afraid, and I wasn't there. Jade's arms wrapped around me, pulling me close as I sobbed against her shoulder. Cry, Maya, get it out, but don't let it destroy you. I can't stop, I whispered. Every word feels like she's speaking from the grave. Then listen, Jade said softly. I pulled away, staring at the ink smudged by my tears. She said, don't get close to him, but I already have. I shook his hand. I sat at his table. I let him smile at me. Then turn her warning into strength, Jade urged. Don't let him break you like he broke her. I pressed the paper to my chest. I swear, Jade, I can almost hear her voice. It's like she's here, telling me not to give in. Jade's eyes glistened. Then hold on to that. Let her guide you. I looked out the window. The city lights blurred through tears. She told me to run, but I won't. I can't. What will you do? Jade asked. I wiped my face, my voice low but steady. I'll fight. For her. For every word in this letter. I'll fight until his kingdom burns. Jade studied me in silence, then nodded. Then I'll fight with you. The clock ticked past 3 in the morning, but I didn't move. My eyes stayed locked on Lena's shaky handwriting. each word a blade cutting into me, but also stitching me back together. I whispered into the quiet, I won't break like you did, Lena. I promise. I'll be the one to end him. And for the first time, the grief in my chest shifted into something sharper, stronger. It was resolve. Sit down, Adrian snapped as the boardroom filled. His smile was gone today, replaced by sharp impatience. Owen adjusted his tie. The numbers don't add up, Adrian. Investors are asking questions. Adrian slammed a folder on the table. They add up when I say they add up. You think you can lecture me in front of my team? Murmurs spread around the room. I kept my head down, pen moving across paper, but my pulse raced. Owen's voice hardened. You're hiding things, and one day, someone will enough. Adrian cut him off. If you don't like my leadership, you're free to leave. But while you sit at this table, remember who built this empire. Owen's jaw clenched. His silence was louder than words. Adrian turned to the others, his smile snapping back into place. Any further doubts? No? Good. Meeting adjourned. Chairs scraped as people scattered. Adrian stormed out first, Sophie trailing behind him, her heels sharp against the floor. Owen stayed, gripping the edge of the table, his face pale with rage. I lingered near the door, pretending to organize notes. You all saw it, he muttered bitterly. He treats me like garbage after everything I've done for him. I hesitated, then said softly, he didn't seem very loyal to you. Owen looked up, eyes bloodshot. Loyalty means nothing to Adrian. It's all about control, money, image. I lowered my voice. Maybe he's not as untouchable as he thinks. His laugh was hollow. Untouchable? You don't know the half of it. Hidden accounts, offshore money, shell companies. He's been building walls for years. My heart pounded. That sounds dangerous. He rubbed his face. Dangerous doesn't begin to cover it. At dinner later, Owen drank heavily, glass after glass. His words grew looser. He thinks no one can touch him. Not the government. Not investors. Not me. But I've seen the files. Cayman Islands, Switzerland, millions, maybe billions. I slid my phone under the table, recording every slurred word. Why tell me this? I asked carefully. He laughed bitterly. Because you're new. You still think he's a god. Wait a little longer, you'll see the monster. Before I could answer, Sophie appeared at my side, her expression sharp. Maya, may I speak with you? I nodded, pocketing my phone quickly. Outside, the night air was cool against my flushed face. Sophie crossed her arms. Stay away from Adrian. Her voice was low, steady, but her hands trembled. I frowned. Why are you telling me this? Because he'll chew you up and spit you out, she said flatly. He's not a man you can handle. I tilted my head. Sounds like you speak from experience. Her jaw tightened. Just stay away. Are you warning me or protecting him? I pressed. Her eyes flickered, fear breaking through the mask. Both. If you're smart, you'll quit tomorrow. I stepped closer. And if I'm not smart? Her voice dropped to a whisper. Then pray. She turned sharply and disappeared into the night, leaving me frozen on the sidewalk. When I returned inside, Owen was slumped over his glass, muttering to himself. I sat across from him, my phone heavy in my pocket, his drunken words echoing in my ears. Shell companies, hidden money, secrets waiting to burn him. I whispered to myself, thank you, Owen. You've given me exactly what I need. The documents glowed on my screen, numbers, transfers, accounts Owen had slurred about. I copied them to a secure drive. My pulse hammering. Once I send this, I whispered, there's no going back. I clicked send to the anonymous drop. The next morning, chaos erupted. Reporters clogged the lobby, shouting questions. Cameras flashed. Employees whispered frantically, clutching their phones. Is it true? Nina hissed, tugging my sleeve. Millions overseas? Fraud? I forced calm. That's what everyone's saying. Adrian stormed past, his face pale, under the polished mask. Out of my way. He barked at reporters before slamming into the boardroom. I followed with the crowd. He stood at the head of the table, voice sharp. This leak is sabotage, lies, and I know exactly who's behind it. All eyes turned to Owen. Owen's face darkened. You dare pin this on me? Adrian slammed the file down. Who else had access? You've been slipping, Owen. Now you're dragging us down. Me? Owen snapped. You're the one hiding money overseas. Don't think I don't know. Gasps filled the room. Adrian's smile returned, cold and tight. Careful with accusations. They sound like confessions. The board muttered nervously. I scribbled notes, Hiding the smirk tugging at my lips. A tea lunch, Jade called. I saw the news. That was you, wasn't it? Yes, I whispered in the stairwell. The fire's spreading. Maya, this is dangerous. If he finds out, he won't. I cut her off. It was anonymous. He's blaming Owen. She was silent a beat, then sighed. Just promise me you'll be careful. He's ruthless. I know, but I can't stop now. Her voice softened. Then keep pushing. Don't give him time to rebuild. I hung up, chest tight but steady. Later, I met Professor Ellis in his cramped office at the university. Books towered around us, dust thick in the air. He leaned back, studying me. Your eyes give you away. You've done something bold. I leaked the documents, I admitted. The press has them. Adrian's empire is cracking. Ellis nodded, slowly. And how do you feel? Alive, I whispered. Then, quieter, and guilty. Because you enjoyed it? I hesitated. Yes. He folded his hands. Justice is not revenge, Maya, but sometimes they look the same. I clenched my fists. Tell me what's the difference. Justice seeks balance, he said calmly. Revenge seeks satisfaction. Which are you after? I looked down. Both? Ellis sighed. Be careful. If you lose yourself in vengeance, Adrian wins in another way. I swallowed hard. I just want Lena's voice to matter. Then keep her at the center, he said gently. Not him. Back at the office, the tension was suffocating. Employees whispered, eyes darting. Investors stormed in and out. Reporters pressed against the glass doors like vultures. Nina clutched my arm. He's furious. He cornered Owen for hours. I thought fists would fly. Did Owen break? I asked. No, she said. But Adrian, he looked shaken. I've never seen that before. I allowed myself a small smile. Good. Nina frowned. Why do you look almost relieved? I masked it quickly. Because maybe the truth is finally catching up to him. Adrian appeared in the hallway then, tie loosened, eyes blazing. He barked at his assistant. Find out who's behind this leak. I want names. I want evidence. And I want it now. He stormed into his office, slamming the door. For the first time, his mask was slipping. I whispered under my breath. The fire's spreading, Adrian. And I lit the match. My phone buzzed close to midnight. Unknown number. I almost ignored it until a soft voice whispered, Maya. I froze. Who is this? It's Sophie. Don't hang up. My grip tightened. Why are you calling me? Because I don't know who else to trust, she said quickly. I've seen the way you look at him. You don't worship him like the others. You see through him. My pulse raced. What do you want from me? To tell you the truth, she whispered. Adrian isn't who he pretends to be. He's cruel, manipulative. He hurts people. I almost laughed bitterly. I already know. Silence. Then her voice cracked. He hurts me too. The line went quiet except for her shaky breathing. I whispered, why are you telling me this now? Because I've been collecting things, she said. Emails, bank records, messages. I've been building a case against him. But I'm too afraid to use it alone. I swallowed hard. You've been keeping evidence? Yes, years of it. But if I go against him, he'll destroy me. He'll destroy anyone in his way. Her warning cut through me. So why not run? I tried once, she admitted, voice trembling. He found me within days. He said if I left again, I'd regret it. I believe him. My chest ached. Sophie, you're trapped. Yes, she whispered. But you're not. That's why I'm calling. Maybe together, maybe we can finish this. I hesitated. Images of Lena flashing in my mind. Why should I trust you? Her voice hardened. Because I want him gone as much as you do. And because I know what happened to Lena. My breath caught. What did you say? I saw him break her, Sophie confessed. I didn't stop it. I was a coward. But I never forgot her face. Tears stung my eyes. You knew? Yes, she whispered, guilt heavy in her tone. And I'm sorry. I can't change the past. But I can help you now. I pressed the phone tighter. If you're lying, I'm not. She cut me off. I have files. Meet me tomorrow. I'll show you. I paced my small apartment, shaking. If we do this, there's no turning back. There never was, Sophie said softly. You know that. Silence stretched between us before I finally whispered, all right, we'll bring him down. She exhaled, relief flooding her voice. Thank you. But listen, I warned. If he suspects us, he'll destroy us, she finished. I know. He always does. I closed my eyes, Lena's voice echoing. In my memory. Don't break like I did. Fight. For the first time, I didn't see Sophie as the enemy's lover. I saw her as another victim, another prisoner of his smile. Then tomorrow, I said firmly, show me everything. I will, she promised. But Maya, be careful. He always knows more than you think. The line went dead, but her warning lingered. I sat in the dark, clutching the phone, whispering to the shadows, we'll end this, Lena. He's finally running out of places to hide. The morning news blared in every corner of the office. Breaking story: new evidence exposes Adrian Cole's offshore accounts, fraudulent deals, and coercive practices. Documents leaked overnight suggest years of corruption. Employees huddled around screens, whispering. I stood among them, pulse hammering. Nina grabbed my arm. Maya, did you see this? Yes, I breathed. Where did all this come from? It's everything. Before I could answer, Adrian stormed in, Sophie trailing silently behind. His face was pale, jaw tight, but he forced that signature smile. Everyone back to work, he barked. This nonsense will blow over. Lies always do. No one moved. Owen stood slowly. Lies, Adrian? Because the press has receipts, emails, bank transfers. Adrian's eyes narrowed. You're behind this. Not this time, Owen shot back. But I wish I was. The doors slammed open. Reporters and cameras flooded the lobby. Police officers pushed through. Mr. Cole, an officer called. You're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and corporate misconduct. Gasps filled the room. Adrian's mask cracked. This is ridiculous. Do you know who I am? The officer snapped handcuffs over his wrists. We do. That's why we're here. Flashbulbs blinded the room. Reporters shouted questions. Adrian, what do you say about the evidence? Did you manipulate employees? Did you cause Lena Brooks's breakdown? At that name, my chest seized. Adrian froze for a split second. Then his eyes scanned the crowd until they found me. Our gazes locked. His fury burned, but beneath it was something else, fear. I whispered, do you see me now? He lunged forward, shouting, this is a mistake. You'll all regret this. The officers dragged him back. Sophie stepped forward, her voice clear. The evidence is real. I gave it to the press. I won't be silent anymore. The room erupted. Adrian twisted toward her, his voice venom. Traitor. She didn't flinch. No survivor. I felt tears sting my eyes. For the first time, Adrian's world was crumbling, not behind closed doors, but for everyone to see. Outside, the crowd pressed close as police shoved him into the waiting car. Cameras flashed like lightning. His empire collapsed in a storm of noise. Beside me, Nina whispered, I can't believe it. He's really finished. Owen muttered, almost to himself. Finally, Sophie turned to me quietly, her voice shaking. It's over. I shook my head. Not yet, but close. We stood shoulder to shoulder in the chaos, reporters still shouting, the crowd buzzing like a hive. My heart pounded as Adrian glanced one last time through the car window, his eyes locking with mine again. No words, no smile, just powerless rage. I whispered so only I could hear, that's for Lena. Jade's call came as I stepped out into the sunlight. Maya. I saw it on TV. They arrested him. Yes, I said, my voice trembling with adrenaline. They finally did. Are you safe? I think so. I looked back at the chaos behind me. For the first time, I actually feel safe. Jade exhaled. Then it was worth it. My hand tightened on my phone. Lena's name was on their lips. They said it out loud. She's not forgotten anymore. That's justice, Jade whispered. I watched the police cars disappear into the distance, sirens fading. My chest heaved, but not with fear, with release. For years, Adrian Cole had stood untouchable, his smile shielding every cruelty. And now, he was just a man in handcuffs, dragged into the light. I whispered into the wind, it's over, Lena. He can't hurt us anymore. The cemetery was quiet, only the rustle of wind moving through the trees. I knelt before Lena's grave, setting the diary and the folded letter gently against the stone. It's over, sister, I whispered. He can't hurt us anymore. The silence pressed around me. My voice trembled. I thought revenge would make me empty, but I feel lighter. You're free now. And so am I. A crunch of gravel startled me. I turned and saw Elaine, our mother. Her face was pale, streaked with tears I'd never thought I'd see. Maya, she said softly. I froze. What are you doing here? She stepped closer, her voice breaking. I should have been here long ago. I should have been there for both of you. But I wasn't. Anger flared in me. You didn't even cry at her funeral. I was ashamed, she admitted, clutching her chest. I told myself being strong meant being cold, but all it did was push you both away. I failed you. I failed her. My throat tightened. She needed you, and you turned away. I know, she sobbed. I see it every night. I hear her voice in my dreams, begging me to notice. And I didn't. I was too afraid to face her pain. I looked back at the grave. You left us to carry it alone. Elaine sank to her knees beside me. I can't change the past, but I need you to hear me. I am sorry. I am so sorry. The tears I thought had dried long ago returned. Sorry doesn't bring her back. No, she whispered. But maybe it can bring us forward. If you can forgive me. The words sliced deep. I clenched my fists. I don't know if I can. She reached for my hand, trembling. Then let me earn it. Don't shut me out the way I shut you out. I stared at her hand, then at Lena's name carved into stone. My chest ached. Forgiveness wasn't for her, it was for me. Quietly I said, I forgive you. Elaine gasped, tears streaming down her face. Thank you. Don't thank me. I whispered, just be different now. Don't let my sister's death mean nothing. She nodded fiercely. I will. I promise. We sat in silence, only the wind carrying our grief. Finally, I stood. I have to go, I said. Elaine looked up. Where? Forward. I answered simply. I don't know where it leads, but it's mine. I touched Lena's grave one last time. Goodbye, Lena. Rest now. I'll carry us both. The sun broke through the clouds as I turned away. My steps felt heavy at first, then lighter with each stride. For the first time, the weight that had chained me loosened. The future was uncertain, the path unclear, but it belonged to me and no one else.